Welcome to Learn English Hub. I'm Jessica.
I'm Michael.
Today we're doing something a little different. Usually we're diving into, complex history or science.
Yeah.
But today we are looking at a topic that is, I think, very close to home for a lot of our listeners.
Definitely.
We're doing a deep dive into practical, real-world tips for learning English effectively.
And honestly, I am the perfect person for this. We have this great advice here from Cambridge English, and as I was reading it, I was just nodding along and also cringing at mistakes I've definitely made. Because let's be honest, learning a language is, well, it's a beast.
It really is.
You have these moments where you feel like a genius, and then 2 days later, you can't remember the word for spoon.
You are so not alone in that feeling. In fact, that's the very first thing the source material brings up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it validates that frustration. It says learning isn't a straight line. It's not this steady climb up a mountain.
Feels like it should be.
It does. But it's more like a hike through, a hilly landscape. You have highs, you have lows, and sometimes you feel like you're just walking in circles.
Which is comforting, but also, it's kind of annoying. You just want to wake up one morning and be fluent.
Oh, absolutely.
Like downloading a file straight into your brain.
If only it worked that way. But since we can't, the source argues the biggest difference between people who succeed and people who quit isn't talent.
Okay, so it's not about being a genius.
No, it's perspective. It's about keeping that end goal in sight, even when you feel like you've hit a wall.
Okay, so persistence is the name of the game. But persistence, it costs time. I think that's the number one barrier for me and for most people.
For sure. Jobs, family.
Exactly. So the source material gets into this study skills idea pretty early on. What does it say about time management?
The verdict is surprisingly forgiving. The number one rule is simple. Be realistic.
Be realistic. It sounds nice, but what does that actually look like? Because my version of realistic usually starts with great intentions.
And ends with Netflix.
That ends with me watching Netflix instead, yes.
Well, think about the classic New Year's resolution trap. You decide, okay, this is the year I master English.
Yeah.
So you create the schedule that says, I will study for 5 hours every single day.
Guilty. I have done exactly that. I buy the new notebooks. I clear my desk.
Right.
I do 5 hours on Monday, maybe 3 on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And by Wednesday, I'm just done.
Exactly. And that's the point the source is making. That all or nothing approach is actually damaging.
So what's the alternative?
They suggest a completely different way to measure it. It's infinitely better to aim for 15 minutes 4 times a week.
15 minutes? That feels almost too easy. Can you really learn anything in just 15 minutes?
You can learn consistency, and that's more valuable than intensity.
Okay.
Think about it. 15 minutes 4 times a week, that's sustainable for a whole year. 5 hours a day is sustainable for maybe a week.
Right. Consistency wins over intensity. I like that. It lowers the barrier. I don't need a whole free evening, just a coffee break.
Exactly. But you do need a plan. Not a complicated one, though.
Okay.
The source says you just need to write down the answers to 3 questions. When, where, and what?
When, where, what? Let's break that down.
Right. When am I studying? Maybe at 7 a.m. before work. Where am I sitting? At the kitchen table. And crucially, what am I actually learning?
That what part is so key. I've sat down to study and spent the first 10 minutes just deciding what to even look at.
And by then, your 15 minutes are almost up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The decision itself kills the habit.
It does. And there's one more tip for accountability they mention. Tell a friend or family member about your plan.
Oh, so they can bother you about it. Hey, didn't you say you were going to study?
Well, the source puts it a bit more gently, like so they can check up on your progress.
Right.
But yes, it's just harder to quit when someone else knows what you're trying to do.
That makes sense.
But there's a safety valve in this advice that I think is the most important part.
What's that?
The source says if the plan doesn't work, don't quit studying. Just change the plan.
That's actually really profound in its simplicity. We think if we break a routine, we've failed.
Yes, we feel so guilty.
But this is saying the routine works for you. You don't work for the routine. If you miss a wink, you're not a failure. You just need a new plan.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got our 15 minutes. We've got our plan that covers study time. But what about the other 23 hours of the day? The source talks a lot about English around you.
Right. This is the immersion part. And it's so important because most learners don't live in an English-speaking country.
Yeah, you have to build your own English environment.
And you can do it right from your pocket. There's a tip here called Be Smart with your smartphone.
I saw that. It suggests changing the language settings on your phone to English.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit, I've hesitated on that one. I was terrified I'd change it and then not be able to find the settings button to change it back.
It is a bold move. But think about it. You already know where the icons are. You know where your camera is, your email.
That's true.
By switching the language, you force your brain to see those daily tasks with English words.
Well, I'm learning words like privacy, notifications, storage, just by living.
Exactly. It's instant daily practice without taking any extra time.
Okay, I can see the value there. What about entertainment? We all watch movies and TV. The source mentions streaming shows, but what's the right way to do it?
Well, the big question is always, are subtitles cheating?
Yes. I always feel like if the subtitles are on, I'm not really listening, I'm just reading.
Well, good news. The source says with or without subtitles is fine.
Oh, okay.
The priority is hearing the language, getting the rhythm. If you need subtitles to follow the plot, use them. It's better to watch and enjoy it than to get confused and just turn it off.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, there's another tip that surprised me, and it involves social media.
Yes, this is a really clever way to practice writing. Find a page or group about something you love, cooking, cars, whatever,
Okay.
and look at the comments. But don't just read them, actually write a comment.
That's a bit scary. The internet can be harsh if you make a grammar mistake.
It can be, but it's a real-world test. You're using English to do something, to share an opinion, to ask a question. It makes the language feel alive.
I like that. It shifts the focus. Now, there's also something called a listening diary. This sounded a bit more academic.
It is more analytical, but it's very powerful. It's basically a log. Whenever you listen to English, a podcast, a song, you write it down.
Okay.
But you also note what problems you had and how you fixed them.
Give me an example of a problem.
So you might write, listen to the news, problem. They spoke too fast. Solution, I listened again at 0.75 speed.
Ah, I see. So it turns passive listening into active troubleshooting. You're diagnosing your own gaps.
Exactly. And then you can look back at your entries from a few months ago and realize, hey, I used to think that was fast, but now it feels normal.
And that's tangible proof of progress.
It is.
That's a great bridge to the next section, because if we're talking about gaps, we have to talk about the things that trip everyone up.
Oh, yes.
Specifically, phrasal verbs.
The nemesis of every English learner. You take a simple verb, add a little word, and suddenly it means something completely different.
It's almost cruel. So what's the advice?
Context is everything. Write it down with a full example sentence. Don't just write, turn up, arrive.
Right.
Right. He turned up late to the party. It helps your brain lock it in.
The source has a little quiz on UP phrasal verbs. I think we should try it.
Okay, let's do it. I'll give you the definition. First one, to become happier.
Okay, that would be cheer up. Like, this music cheers me up.
Correct. Next one, to admire someone. To my grandparents.
To look up to someone.
Perfect. How about this? To do something you didn't have time for earlier, like I need to on some sleep.
I feel that one. That's catch up on.
You got it. Last one, to arrive or appear, often unexpectedly.
That's turn up, as in I hope a lot of people turn up.
Exactly. See, not so scary when you isolate them.
Right. And that brings us to the other vocabulary nightmare, collocations, or as the source called them, word partnerships.
Yes, words that just sound right together.
And if you get them wrong, people understand you, but it just sounds off.
It does. The source has a really good list for food. Let's run through them. A unit of cake is a
slice of cake,
chocolate,
a bar chocolate,
grapes,
a bunch of grapes.
olive oil.
This one's nice. A drizzle of olive oil.
It is. And finally, bread.
A loaf of bread.
Perfect. Learning those as a single chunk is so much more effective.
Definitely. The source also clarifies sports verbs. I never knew there was a rule for using play, go, or do.
There's a pretty logical pattern. You usually use play for team sports or ball games.
So play football, play hockey.
Exactly. You use go for activities that end in ing.
Like go cycling, go skiing.
Go bowling, right.
Yeah.
And you use do for exercises or martial arts.
Do yoga, do judo. That clears up so much confusion.
It does. Now, moving to grammar, there's one mistake that can be genuinely embarrassing. The difference between adjectives ending in ed and ing.
The classic I am boring versus I am bored.
A very dangerous mistake. If you say I am boring, you're telling people you're not an interesting person.
Which you probably don't want to announce at a party, so what's the rule?
The AED ending describes how you feel. It's your internal emotion.
Okay.
The ing ending describes the thing or situation that causes the feeling.
Right, the cause. So the film was.
The film was boring.
And because the film was boring.
I was bored.
That makes sense. Let's try another. Getting up early is.
Tiring.
Tired. Perfect. Simple switch, but it makes a huge difference.
It really does. Now, quickly, there is a fun bit here on UK versus US English.
Oh, I love these. The same language, but not always.
Right. I'll give you the UK word, you give me the US one. UK timetable.
Schedule.
UK rubber.
US eraser. And you have to be careful with that one.
You really do.
Yeah.
UK break time.
US recess.
And UK school dinner.
US school lunch.
Exactly. It just shows why it's good to listen to different accents.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered all these skills, but the source asks a really tough question. How do you know if you're actually making progress?
It's the hardest part, especially when you hit that intermediate level. You feel stuck.
The intermediate plateau. You're studying, but you don't feel any different.
And it can be so demotivating. The source says the truth is you are improving, but the progress is often invisible day to day.
So we need proof. We need data.
And the source gives us 2 brilliant time travel methods to get that proof.
Time travel. Okay, I'm listening.
Metaphorically, of course.
Yeah.
The first method is to go back in time.
How do I do that?
Find an old email or a notebook entry you wrote a year ago and read it.
Oh, I bet that would be painful, looking at your old mistakes.
It might be. But the task is to correct it. Take a pen and fix your old spelling, your grammar. Ask yourself, how would I write this today?
I see. And if I can easily spot my old mistakes, that proves I know more now.
Exactly. It makes the invisible progress visible. It's a huge confidence booster.
I love that. What's the second method?
Write for the future.
So, sending a message forward in time.
Yes. You sit down and write a letter to yourself, put it in an envelope, and write a date on it 6 months from now.
And just seal it.
Seal it. And don't open it until that date.
That's such a cool idea, because when I open it, I'll probably see mistakes I'm making today that I don't even realize are mistakes yet.
Yes, it turns the passage of time into a positive thing.
I really like that. Okay, finally, what about exams? A lot of people listening are preparing for them, and that's a different kind of pressure.
It is. For reading, the big warning is, don't rely on word spotting.
What's that?
It's when you see a word in the question, say computer, and you scan the text for the word computer and assume the answer is right there.
It's a trap.
A big trap. You have to read for meaning, not just match words.
Good advice. What about writing? People always worry about the word count.
The source says don't worry if you go over the word limit a little bit. Really?
A little bit is okay. The main goal is to be interesting, to engage the reader. Don't write a boring robotic essay just to hit the word count.
And for speaking, sitting in front of an examiner.
The tip is don't interrupt your partner.
Right. It's a communication test, not a debate.
Exactly. You get marks for interaction. You have to show you can listen, respond, and build on what they said.
Wow. We have covered a lot of ground today.
We certainly have.
For me, the main message is about integration. Taking English out of the classroom box and just putting it all over your real life.
Yes.
Changing your phone settings, watching movies, and being kind to yourself with that be realistic rule.
That's a perfect summary. Small, consistent steps are so much better than giant leaps that just lead to burnout.
Absolutely.
Before we go, I want to leave our listeners with that final thought from the source. We talked about writing for the future.
Right.
Why not try that today?
Yes. Grab a piece of paper right now. Write a short note to yourself about how you feel about your English today.
Yeah.
Seal it up and open it in 6 months. You might just be surprised at how far you've come.
Keep your goal in sight, everyone. You're doing great.
Thanks for listening to Learn English Hub. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Michael. See you next time.